Hello everyone. So welcome back to my video lecture. In this video we will discuss another evolution of Ethernet, that is called as fast Ethernet. So whenever standard Ethernet was developed, so there are different types of local area network was working. So one out of that is FDDI, so which is called as fiber distributed data interface, which uses fiber optic cable, and it produces more speed than your standard Ethernet. So this was a competent for the standard Ethernet, so where it has higher speed, but standard Ethernet was having only 10 Mbps. So that is why the IEEE came up with another evolution of Ethernet, that is standard Ethernet, which is called as fast Ethernet, which where they increase the bandwidth or the speed to till 100 Mbps. The standard Ethernet was working in 10 Mbps, so now they have increased 10 times and made it as 10 Mbps, so that it made a competent with the FDDI or fiber up channel, and it was named as IEEE 802.3U. So this is a different version, that is why they have named it as under the same project they have named it as IEEE 802.3U, and they have discussed what is the medium access control sublayer and how the physical layer is implemented. The goal of the fast Ethernet is to upgrade the data rate to 10 Mbps, that is increasing 10 times, and make it compatible with the standard Ethernet. Why? Because so as a whole suddenly we cannot convert entire network into fast Ethernet. So some of the old organization will be working with the standard Ethernet. So that is why, so whenever we come up with the new technology, it should also cope up with the older technology. So that is why, so it is the other goal where it has to be compatible with the standard Ethernet, that is the old Ethernet, and to keep the same 48-bit address. So there is no changes in the length of the address, the destination address and the source address, and we keep the same frame format of the Ethernet and keep same minimum and maximum length. So that means, so here there is no much difference made to the max sublayer. So where we have same frame format and we have same destination address and source address, and we keep same minimum and maximum length in order to identify the collision and all those things. But we have to increase the speed to 100 Mbps. So now, to have a compatibility between the fast Ethernet and standard Ethernet, so they came up with the newer feature which is called as auto negotiation. So here, two devices are allowed to negotiate the mode or data rate of the operation. Now, for example, if there are two networks, so there are two networks, so where we have different devices in different network. Okay. Now, for example, if this network works upon 10 Mbps and this works upon 100 Mbps, so that means this is standard Ethernet and this is fast Ethernet. Now, this device cannot transfer the data in more than 10 Mbps, and whenever data is coming or transferring from this network to this network cannot transfer in 100 Mbps. Why? Because it will be overwhelmed to this network. So that is why, to have a compatibility between these two different network, they have a feature called as auto negotiation. So in this case, two devices can negotiate the data rate in which they are working or they can work. So that means, so these devices can able to send the data in 10 Mbps speed also. So that is called as auto negotiation. It allows incompatible devices to connect to one another. It allows one device to have a multiple capabilities. That means, so this device can work in 100 Mbps as well as below 100 Mbps. It allows a station to check the hub capability. So that means whenever they transfer the data, so before it transfers the data, it checks the capacity of the hub. so that it can transfer in the same speed whatever hub can receive. So for that purpose, so they have introduced auto negotiation in the MAC sublayer. And another changes is bus topologies are dropped and they use only star topology using full duplex and half duplex. So we already discussed that whenever we have full duplex, then there is no need for CSMA CD, and if at all we have used half duplex, then only there is a need for CSMA CD for detecting the collision. So that is also one changes they have made in the MAC sublayer, and rest of the things are same, that is frame format, size, everything. So next is physical layer. So as they told, so they have fully avoided bus topology and they have introduced only switch, so that they can increase the data rate. Why? Because we have a point-to-point link between device and switch. So that is the one advantage of star topology. So whenever we have point-to-point link, then entire bandwidth is given to only one device. So based upon the type of wires we use, we have three implementation in the physical layer of fast Ethernet. So it is called as 100 base TX, 100 base FX and 100 base T4. So this 100 base TX uses two wires of category 5 UTB, that is unshielded twisted pair cable category 5, Cat 5 cable, we call it as Cat 5 cables. And next is 100 base FX, where we use fiber optic cable, two fiber optic cables. And next 100 base T4, where we use 4 twisted pair cables or wires, that is with the category 3, Cat 3 cables. So whenever we look into the encoding scheme, so here they use two different types of encoding scheme. So first they use a block encoding and next we use a line encoding. So encoding scheme broadly classified into line coding and block coding. So normally we use both the coding scheme whenever we transfer the data based upon the technology we use. So fast Ethernet uses both of those, that is block coding as well as line coding. So first they have to use a block coding scheme. So here a block coding scheme used is 4 binary to 5 binary. So that is 4B bar 5B. So B stands for binary. So where 4-bit data is converted into 5-bit. That means one extra bit is added in this particular coding scheme. So 5-bit binary is converted into, 4-bit binary is converted into 5-bit binary. So that is called as 4B bar 5B encoder. So 4 lines are connected, so that is each of 25 Mbps, and the output of that will be 125 Mbps. And the output of this one is given to a line encoding scheme which is called as MLT3. So that means multi-line transmission with level 3. So 3 voltage levels we use in MLT3, that is why we call it as MLT3 encoder. So based upon the characteristics we use those different types of encoder. So this is at the sender side and this is at the receiver side. So that is for 100 base TX. So TX we use twisted pair cable. So here again 100 indicates the speed of the network, 100 Mbps, that is fast Ethernet, and base, there is a baseband transmission, and TX type of wires we use. So TX stands for twisted pair cable and FX stands for fiber optic cable, and T4 that is again twisted pair cable with category 3, that is 4 wires. So that is why they have given the such type of names. And in 100 base FX, it uses 2 fiber optic cables. Again we use 4B bar 5B encoder, and instead of MLT3 it uses NRZ-I, that is invert. So NRZ-I encoder is used instead of MLT3, and in 100 base T4 they are using 4 wires of Cat 3 UTP cable, that is unshielded twisted pair cable which category 3, and encoding scheme here they use is 8B bar 6T decoder. So 8B bar 6T stands for 8 binary to 6 ternary. So this is a line coding scheme. So multi-level line coding scheme. So where 8 binary is represented by using 6 signal elements with 3 level of voltage. So that is the main uh, technique behind 8 binary to 6 ternary. So 8 binary is represented by using 6 signal elements with 3 signal levels. So that is why it is called as 8B bar 6T, where T stands for ternary. So as a summary, so 100 base TX uses Cat5 cable, either unshielded or shielded, and number of wires is 2, maximum length is 100 meter. Block coding scheme we use is 5B bar 4B bar 5B, 4 binary to 5 binary, and line coding is MLT3. So like that, all the different technologies we use in different implementation. So here there is no block coding, we use only line coding scheme in 100 base T4. So next is gigabit Ethernet. So again the requirement is increased. So now the speed need to be increased to 1000 Mbps from 100 Mbps. So that is why, so 1000 MB is nothing but near to 1 gigabit. So that is why they named it as gigabit Ethernet or 1 gigabit Ethernet, and they have standardized under the name IEEE 802.3Z. So this is important. So different versions of IEEE standards for Ethernet standard, and they have standardized what is the max sub layer and what is the physical layer. So we'll discuss again. So goal is to upgrade the data rate to 1 gigabit per second, and it should be compatible with standard Ethernet or fast Ethernet, and they kept 48-bit address as it is. They have kept same frame format, there is no changes in that, and same minimum and maximum frame, and it should also support for auto negotiation, so that there is a compatibility between the different Ethernet types. So whenever we look into max sub layer, so here in full duplex there is no collision, that is why there is no requirement for CSMA CD. The maximum length of the cable is determined by the signal attenuation in the cable. Okay, and whenever we look into half duplex mode, there will be a chance of collision, that is why we use CSMA CD. And in this case, since maximum length of the network depends on the minimum frame size, so we have 3 cases in this case. So that is called as traditional, and next one is carrier extension, and last one is frame bursting. Now for example, whenever the speed is 1 gigabit, then the duration of 1 bit is reduced, 1 gigabit per second, then the duration of 1 bit is reduced. So that is why here whenever we take 1 Gbps, then we can only have minimum length of the cable will come down to 25 meter. So that is nothing but we can able to fix the device in only one room. We cannot extend it into another room or another building. So that is why they come up with the 3 strategies, that is traditional and carrier extension and frame bursting, so that we can able to increase the length of the network. In the traditional, that means they have kept the minimum length of the frame as 512 bits, but maximum network length can be only 25 meter. So that is called as traditional length of the frame. So now in order to increase the length of the frame, only idea is to increase the length of the frame. So that is why in carrier extension they have increased the size from 512 bit to 512 bytes. So this is the one changes they have made in order to increase the length of the network. So whenever we try to increase the length of the frame, that can also increase the length of the network. So here it can support up to 200 meters. So that is what the carrier extension means. So they have increased the length, minimum length from 512 bits to 512 bytes. But in this case, in order to make the frame as 512 bytes, then we have to add extra bits, that is padding need to be done. So padding need to be done. So whenever it is not 512 bits, then we have to add extra bits, so that is called as padding. So this padding uh, will be inefficient whenever we have shorter frames. So for example, whenever all the frames consist of only 100 bits, then we have to add more amount of extra bits in order to make it as 512 bits. So that is why, so this carrier extension is uh, not suitable whenever we have more number of frames with the fewer number of bits. So that is why they come up with the one more strategy, which is called as frame busting. So in frame busting, we combine multiple frame into one frame, so that we can able to make it as 512 bytes. So in carrier extension, what we do, we add extra bits, redundant bit. But in frame busting, in order to make a frame to 512 bytes, we combine the multiple frames into one frame. So that is why we call it as frame busting. So here we combine the frame after make it as till we make it as 512 bytes. So that is why these three strategies are used in max sublayer of the gigabit Ethernet. So carrier extension, frame busting, and traditional length of the frame. And whenever we look into physical layer, so we have only star topology, and we can also have multi-star, that is multi-level star, to connect more number of devices. So here we have 1000 base XX, so where we have a short wave fiber. So here normally we use fiber optic cable. Okay, in order to have a gigabit speed, so normally we use fiber optic cable. So based upon the wave length, they have named it as SX and LX. So where in SX we use shorter wave, and in LX we use longer wave. And in 1000 base CX we use copper STP, and in 1000 base T we use 4 wires of UTP cables. So this is the implementation of physical layer. So here we use block coding and line coding both. So here the line block coding we use is 8B bar 10B, that is 8 binary is converted into 10 binary, and NRZ line encoding scheme is used. So this is a block coding and this is a line coding, and that is it is used in all the three: 1000 base SX, 1000 base LX, and 1000 base CX. And in 1000 base T we use only a line coding scheme, that is called as 4D PAM5 encoder. So this stands for dynamic pulse amplitude modulation, or we can also name it as dynamic 5 level pulse amplitude modulation. So 4 stand for 4 wires, we use 4 UTP cables, dynamic 5 level of voltage level we use, and it is a pulse amplitude modulation. So that is why it is called as dynamic 5 level pulse amplitude modulation. So 125 Mbps from 8 devices are combined. So that is the meaning of this. 125 Mbps from 8 devices or 8 sources is combined by using this encoding scheme. So whenever we combine 125 Mbps from 8 sources, and after block coding, it comes up to 1.25 Gbps. So this is a summary of that. So different types of cables we use, number of wires, maximum length, block coding what scheme we use, and line coding what scheme they use. The last one is 10 gigabit Ethernet. So still more they have increased the Ethernet speed or underlying speed of the network. So that is called as 10 gigabit. So from 1 gigabit they have increased the speed to 10 gigabit Ethernet, and the project was named as IEEE 802.3 AE. So this is a current version of IEEE 802.3 AE for 10 gigabit. So the goal is to upgrade data rate to 10 gigabit, make it compatible with standard fast and gigabit Ethernet, and keeping same 48-bit address, same frame format, same minimum and maximum length, and it has to allow interconnection of existing LAN to a MAN and WAN. So actually this 10 gigabit Ethernet is used in MAN and WAN, where we have to connect more number of devices, and make Ethernet compatible with technologies such as frame relay and ATM. So ATM is another type of local area network, another type of technologies we use in local area network. So asynchronous transmission mode. So this also compatible with those type of technology also. So here MAC sublayer operates only in full duplex mode, and physical layer designed for using only fiber optic cable. So why? Because that much amount of signal cannot be transmitted through transmitted through twisted pair cable or coaxial cable. That is why they used fiber optic cables. And based upon the signal wave, we have 10G base S and 10G base L and 10G base E. That is short wave, long wave, and extended wave based upon their wavelength. So this is a wavelength and their maximum length of the network. So this is all the evolution of Ethernet. So standard Ethernet, 100 Mbps, that is fast Ethernet, gigabit Ethernet, and 10 gigabit Ethernet. So in the next video, we'll discuss about wireless LAN. So thank you.